Today I'm going to be speaking with the amazing Sharon Stokes from Entertainment 88 and Pop Choir, and she's going to be sharing us information about singing, how singing can, help you as a person, help you feel good, what happens when you sing in a group, what it actually does for your mind and body, and also how singing can help you in business because you learn more about your voice. So welcome, Sharon.
Thanks for having me. It's exciting.
So, always like to start with, could you share with us something interesting or quirky about you?
Well, something I think is a little bit quirky is I'm obsessed with my cat. So the cat rules the house. I've only had it for a few months and it literally sleeps on me. I am anxious about it getting out. Like, I just love this cat to pieces. That's my little quirky thing. I mean, something interesting is I've traveled the world doing crazy stuff, performing different characters. I think one of my most fun times was when I worked for Universal Studios in Japan, and I was Frankenstein's bride for 13 months. So that shocked a
Wow.
few people,
Excellent. And so we're going to be talking about singing today. So what I want to start with was I was talking to you the other day about how someone told me years ago that, not to sing because I was showing off. And then you said to me, you know what, most people have a story about when they're some stage in their life, someone commenting on their singing and the effect that it's had on them. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I find it really interesting. So I have so many people that come to me that have been told by someone at school, by a teacher or a choir master, not to open their mouths, or to stop singing. That they'd be better, behind an instrument, and to keep quiet. And that sort of really does some sort of damage to people. And I find it really interesting because we're brought up in a world which is full of music, and music is everywhere and it's a part of our everyday life. And then we all should be able to do it. I feel like one of my mottos is, if you can speak, you can sing. So everyone has the ability to do that. They just need to be given the right tools to experience their voice and to open up and to learn, because not everyone has a natural singing voice, but everyone can sing. I think the internet has dropped out a little bit. Let me have a look. Yes. Are you there, Maureen?
Sorry, just lost you there for a moment. So,
Oh, that's okay. I thought you might have fallen asleep. I was like, oh, did I talk too long? You're like,
so, so you just said then that if they're given the right tools, then they can do it. So, I love the motto that if you can speak, you can sing. So, what sort of tools do people need to be able to sing?
I mean, singing is a whole body process. And everyone that comes, especially to a private lesson, everyone comes at a different skill set, and it's working out what this person needs. So, for example, some people might not be singing to the best of their ability because they're not breathing properly. And it's interesting because when we're born and we're a baby, we breathe deep into the lungs and we have that diaphragm breath, like where we're going low and everything's working. And then as soon as we start to speak and start to learn to talk, we start to do a lot of chest breathing. So when I say chest breathing, it's like when athletes or dancers and you're going for a run and it's that real high breath. But in singing, we need that low breath. And sometimes just being able to allow people to access that lower breath can actually open up their whole their whole singing range, their ability to be able to sustain, to be able to connect through the notes as well. So just a simple thing of well, not simple, because breathing can be as difficult as you want it to be, but something to focus on with the breath can really improve the voice, for example.
Yeah, that's a great one. And I always, I love when you differentiated for me the difference between the head voice and the chest voice. Could you tell us about that?
Definitely. So with singing,
Or sing that for us.
okay, definitely, I can do that. So with the voice, there are different parts on how to use the voice, and to put it quite simply and to not make it too technical, but what I'm speaking in now is what we would call our chest voice. So it's that really speaking, connected, lower voice. And generally in those lower notes, we like to have that real connection with that voice. So one way to check, and I always say this with people, is, am I speaking in my chest voice? Is to put your hand sort of high up, sort of on your throat here, and just be like, and you're like, oh, okay, I can feel the vibrations in my hand. So when we're singing any kind of song in those sort of lower to mid-range notes, we want to have that connected chest. As we move up the range, the voice changes because the vocal folds change, and you go into like a head voice, like up there. But what happens is, a lot of people, when they come to singing, they either are stuck in a chest voice, so they only have so many notes that they can sing, or they sing all in head voice. So for example, if I were to sing in a head voice in a lower range, it would sound very funny. So just accessing people the right tools to be able to sing in a chest or a head, and being able to mix those voices over, can open up people's world with their range, and to be able to sing a song. So
Excellent.
sort of,
Could you give us an example? No, it was a perfect explanation. Can you give us an example of a song where, even a line or two of a song, where you move between the two, like that?
100%. I actually had a singing lesson with Carmen yesterday, which was fantastic, and she did so well. And we did James Bay, Let It Go. And with that particular song, it's a male singer, and she's obviously a female, and it's in a range she should be singing in a chest voice. But then there are certain notes that go up into a more sort of a head, a mixier sound. So you don't want to be like pulling that chest voice up. But most pop songs, most songs, unless you're singing sort of a classical song, which is like, all up in that higher end soprano, most pop, contemporary jazz is a constant mix of going from the chest, mix, head, like up and down. There's no real song, unless you're singing like what was it? I can't think of the name of the singer, but there's like a jazz singer, Diana Krall, I think how you say her name, but she sings everything really low. And that would all be in chest voice. But generally speaking, most songs will use the whole range.
Yeah, awesome. And so we've talked a little bit about a voice and breath. I sing in the shower. I used to sing a lot as a child. Any opportunity, I'll sing. We love singing, getting in the car and singing with the radio, because it actually feels good. So is this in our head, or is it really feeling good and doing good things for our body?
Oh my gosh, no, singing has so many health benefits. Individual singing and group singing. But when you sing a song, you just release endorphins straight away. So that's why you're feeling good when you're singing in the car. Your favorite song comes on, you're like, oh, in the car, and it just makes you feel better. You're breathing differently when you're singing. You're letting out emotions when you're singing as well. So whether you're, in the car and, whatever, if you've had a bad day and some sort of song comes on, a sadder song, and you're like, and you start sort of singing, and it sort of brings up that emotion, I mean, that release can make you feel just as good as singing your favorite dance song or pop song that makes you feel good because it's high energy.
Yeah. My go-to when I'm feeling down is I Am Woman. And I'm like, I am woman, hear me roar, numbers too big to ignore. And it actually physically changes my state.
Oh, 100%, because when you're singing like powerful words, it's like a mantra, isn't it? And they say, singing is very meditative in regards to, breathing, and, you sort of think like if you're singing words that are powerful or changing the brain, you know what I mean? It will make you instantly feel better, or it can, like we said before, bring out the emotion, which can actually make you feel sad or think about things, but then you have a good release and cry.
Yeah.
One thing I like to say and is singing lessons is like therapy, because there's so many lessons I got into growing up when I was learning to sing that I've cried to my teachers, or, I have people, that come to me, and sometimes we have a sing and we have a good cry. Well, they have a cry, and that's okay because it's releasing stuff, and they leave the lesson feeling amazing because they've had this whole experience and release of emotion.
Yeah. And I also feel too, because I'm having lessons with you as well. If anyone's interested, she's just amazing. We're doing over Zoom, and it's amazing that it works just so well. What I found is that I can sing, basically okay, I can sing, but I love the challenge in it as well. You're testing yourself, you're challenging yourself, you're learning, you're growing, you're finding new ways to use your voice. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, 100%. And if you don't mind me saying, like with you, I think you've got this fantastic range, Maureen. And you're the perfect example of someone that you naturally can sing, and you've got this, you can sing from your low note right up to a really high note. But what you've never actually had to think about is those different registers we talked about, like chest and head. So when you're sort of putting that together in a song, it's a different way of thinking. You've always just and sung. Do you know what I mean? And it's just come out. You've never really had to think about it. So yeah, I think I've just sort of babbled then, Maureen, and I've forgotten the whole point of what I was talking about then.
No, it was about learning and growing and stretching yourself, and because we use our voice in a similar way, and it's a new way of exploring.
100%, yeah. And you'll find that, with the different, simple techniques and tools and exercises, it's just fun to learn what the capabilities of your voice can do, and to see it open and grow. And I love watching people's faces when they hear something that they were like, whoa, that came out of me.
Yeah.
And you use your voice 24/7, but then you do something that you didn't think you could do, and it's like, ah.
Yeah, and we've just got Jeff. Thanks for your comment, Jeff, on LinkedIn. I've never understood why I'm the only one in the traffic, singing in the traffic. I'm amazing with the radio on. But it's great. I think there's often a shame associated with it, or an embarrassment if you're not good. But I think it's definitely about just getting out there and doing it. Now, the other thing that we've talked about health, but in terms of, because I know there's people in corporate and in business who often have singing lessons to help with breathing and confidence, because often we get affected in, say, presentations with nerves. So how can singing lessons help with that?
Oh, I mean, singing lessons is, it does build confidence, especially, they say singing is people's biggest fear. So I feel like if you can have some singing lessons, you've conquered a fear. You can definitely speak in front of, however many people. But so, the more lessons that you have, the more confidence that you will have in your voice, for example. But I have clients that come to me for singing lessons just to work out how to use their voice to become more confident, but also how to work their voice so that when they're giving presentations or speeches or just talking to their staff, that they're making it interesting, and that they're speaking with correct technique, so they're not tiring their voice. I have people that come to me because after half an hour of speaking, they find that they have a sore voice at the end of the day, or they've got to have like a break because they can't sustain talking for too long, especially people that, might be on the phone all the time. It's really important to understand where your voice is and how to use it. And so, learning to breathe and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so singing lessons, it's not necessarily about coming to sing to be like the most amazing singer in the world. It's just learning great technique which will help you in your everyday life. Have you gone again, Maureen? Well, I can keep talking about the voice for anyone that would like to have a lesson. Whether if you're really scared, you've just got to walk through the front door. And if you've got a good teacher, they'll be able to guide you and make you feel good. I feel like any teacher that makes you not feel confident is not a good teacher.
Yeah, exactly. And it is, even Carmen said to me yesterday, she said it was quite confronting, and Carmen and I are quite confident people, but so it just goes to show that even really confident people, to actually sing isn't putting yourself out there. And people will have a fear of public speaking, and I like that one. If you can sing, sing, then it will build your bravery muscles.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, like I said, public speaking is people's, biggest, so singing is people's biggest fear. So if you can conquer that, my gosh, you can get up and, sing in a singing lesson in front of someone. It's, you should be able to build up your confidence by doing that.
Great. Now, another thing is, years ago I lived with this flatmate, and he was quite a good singer, and his sister actually came second in some singing show in America.
Wow.
So I think singing must have been in the family. One of those celebrity singing shows where, anyway, long story. So, and I used to sing, and then he would just harmonise with me, and like seriously, having the two voices just sounded so good. So tell me about, I know you've got pop choir where, you could have up to 100 voices in the room. What does singing with another person or a group of people do for you?
So yes, so we've talked about the singing individually and, the benefits there, but in a group, it's an experience like no other. The energy of all the voices, and especially, when you're harmonizing and you hear the sound all come together, it's something unreal. Like, I get excited teaching my sessions. I've been doing pop choir for 8 years, and I still scream and shout and get excited when I hear my arrangements come to life, because there's nothing like hearing voices all singing together. And when you've got more than, two voices in our group, sometimes we have, we might have 30, sometimes I might have 150. I've done rooms with 1,500 at corporate events, for team building days. And when you hear the harmonies coming at you, it's another experience altogether. And I think it's because there is no individual focus when you're singing in a group. And I think that can make people feel more safe to be able to sing out. And I think, again, like the group singing aspect of, if you can speak, you can sing, really applies for when you're in a group, because no one's there to judge you. So, you just come in, open your mouth, and then you have these like amazing harmonies around you, and you're like, wah! And it just like, people, I always say, if you come into a group and you're feeling okay, you're going to leave even better. Or if you're feeling, great, you're going to feel like, wah! Party time afterwards. So,
So could you share with us, could you sing a few lines of some of the songs you sing at pop choir? like what sort of, just so people get a feel for if they want to come along, what sort of songs you sing?
Yeah, I mean, we sing everything from like, 50s, 60s, right up to today. So, we do arrangements for like Adele's, Rolling in Deep, or we do, like well, I've got a great Beatles medley I do, which is, all you need is love, into help, need somebody. So you've got, that sort of cross. I do great Queen medley. I love medleys. I'm a medley queen. I've got a Katy Perry medley. So, I've got a Lean on Me into Hallelujah medley, which I do.
Wow.
We do everything that's sort of been on the radio at some point in history. So when you come to a session at Pop Choir, one of my main things is that if it's your first night, you're going to know one of the songs that we're doing, or you'll learn it pretty quickly, because they're sort of, you'll be walking around Coles. Some of my members will be like walking around Coles and they'll be harmonizing with the track, with the trolley. Like, that one last night, like do 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 do, whatever they're doing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, excellent. And so, how many people go to Pop Choir?
So with Pop Choir, depending on we've got 3 groups happening since COVID. We've come back into halls this year. So, one group has around 50 to 60 at each session that we do. So you really get the experience and the benefit of singing in the group. Yeah.
Okay, great. Now we've got a voice. Thanks, Jocelyn. She said, at what age is the best time to enroll for a voice lesson for my daughter? So if people are thinking getting singing lessons for their children, is there a recommended age?
I personally think they need to be 8 or 9 and above. I feel that the vocal cords, when you're younger, it's more beneficial to be in sort of a group music environment. You can have singing lessons, I suppose, but if you're going to be paying for private singing lessons, I feel like that's money that should be invested when they're sort of, 8, 9 above, because their voice can handle more of the techniques that will be taught in the room. So a group setting is fantastic for kids because they can learn harmonies. They're learning, obviously, to pick up, the melody straight away. They're breathing. So they're learning techniques in the group classes. But yeah, I feel like private lessons, they should be a little bit older. I didn't start private lessons till I was 14. Because your voice goes through changes. So how your voice is at 8, then your vocal folds change again. Sort of when you're in your teenage years, they change again when you're in your early 20s and 30s. So your voice is forever changing, because hormonally, things take place and your vocal cords change.
Yeah. And so in terms of if someone wanted to get singing lessons with you, do you recommend groups or private, or what's your recommendation for people?
I think having a private lesson to begin with is always really beneficial, because then for you, you know where your voice is sitting, and then you know sort of what your limitations are with your voice, and you sort of know that you're singing safely as well. Some people will come and they'll think, oh, I'll just have a couple of lessons, and then they stay on for a couple of years because they love singing, and they love the lessons. Then the group sessions are really fantastic as well if you want to meet other people and be a part of a community, and and have that sort of meditative effect of singing with a group. So private lessons are fantastic, and so are the group classes. Really, I think it's starting at either or. And if you want more, so if you start in a group, I've had people that have started in my group and they've wanted to learn more about their voice. Then they've moved into private sessions, and then they've ended up doing our concerts that we have at Entertainment 88. So, and then vice versa, I've had people that have come to my, private lessons, and then they want to do more and more harmony work, and then they join the choir as well. So they go hand in hand.
Yeah. So where are your you said you've got 3 pop choirs. Just for anyone listening, if they want to attend those, where are they?
Yeah, sure. So we've got a pop choir in Moorabbin, in Murrumbina, and in Mordialloc. It's like triple M. So
Yes.
3 M's. We actually were going to open in Mornington before COVID happened. So it would have been 4 M's. And we were in Camberwell, but we're just waiting for the storm to settle.
Yes, the
Just
COVID storm.
Oh my gosh. But we've been lucky because, all through COVID, I had a great community of members that came online with me. So 4 to 5 times a week, every week. I never had a break. Through COVID, we all got together online, and I've still got the online going now. So, with lockdown that just happened recently in Melbourne, we all just turned to online for the 4 sessions, and people love it because they can, still get the feel good benefits from being at home. And it's the highlight of some people's day, especially during this crazy time. People that might live alone, or just want a break from, having all their family around them. They go into a room and they come and sing with us. So it's although COVID has obviously it's everywhere and everyone's had to adapt. For us, we've been able to adapt and come into people's homes, and that's why even with the Zoom private singing lessons have been fantastic as well, which you've experienced, and Carmen, and so many other people have thought, oh, I'm going to try a singing lesson, and it's actually worked, via Zoom. So no matter where you are, you can have a sesh.
Yeah, and I really recommend it. Like I had, just a half an hour one day, half an hour the next. It was, my lunch break at work, really invigorated, made me feel good. I think there should be more singing in the world. It's like we lose our confidence from our childhood, and I think we should be doing more of it.
Yeah, and that's why it's really important to find a teacher that you connect with, that makes you feel good, that motivates you to want to learn more, because that's our job as a teacher, is to nurture, not to tell someone that they can't do something.
Yeah.
I had a really lovely man that came to me for singing lessons because his 4-year-old used to always say, like, don't sing to me, dad, like, ooh, gross, blah, blah, blah. And he really couldn't sing in tune at all. And through training, we were able to get him to sing in tune so then he could sing to his son. And, it was so wonderful to see that, so,
Yeah. And then the other one that I love is that you mentioned to me, what happens to people's hearts when they sing in groups and their heartbeat?
Oh, yeah. So when you sing in a group, apparently all your hearts synchronize in time. So that's so unreal, isn't it? That our heartbeats all beat together at the same time when you're singing in a group. Like that just
Yeah.
blows my mind.
It says a lot about, the importance of that belonging and sense of community that comes with singing.
Oh, 100%. And then, another reason why obviously group singing does make, people feel so good is, if you're connecting on that deep level with and that's another thing, like you can come to a group session and you don't have to talk to the person next to you, but you feel like you belong because you're singing with them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty special.
Yeah. So, thanks for joining us, Sharon. So, what's the best way to get in contact with you if someone would like to go to pop choir, which is the group singing situations where you sing all, great songs from modern and 80s and medleys that Sharon's put together, or if you'd like individual singing lessons with Sharon?
So if you would like anything, you can email me on the email that's come up on the screen, sharonstokes88@gmail.com. If you would like to be a part of Pop Choir, even at a hall session, you can go to popchoir.com.au, and you can email through the website, or again, you can just email me with the email that's on the screen. And with private lessons as well, you can go to entertainment88.com.au and you can book a lesson with any of the teachers that come up on the book now button, or you can email me to discuss further as well. So, there's lots of options. Even if you're not in Melbourne, you can join us for Pop Choir online, or singing lessons as well via Zoom. So it's exciting.
Excellent. Thanks, Sharon. It was lovely speaking with you today. Yeah, I think you're a fantastic teacher, high energy. You make people feel good and help them learn. We really appreciate you joining us today.
Oh, thanks, Maureen. I just saw Julie's comment. Hi, Julie. Thanks for watching. So I've got such lovely people around me.
Oh, hi, Julie. Awesome.
Yay.
There's someone who's been a member for 18 months and absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
So thanks, Julie. Thanks, Sharon.
Okay.
See you, everybody. Bye.
So if you'd like to see more interviews with amazing business owners sharing extraordinary insights, click subscribe, then click the bell button, then click all, and we'll notify you.